It's the classic conundrum. You want a cheeseburger, but you want to be healthy as well. I've got you covered. Let's do this. Welcome back to Kiwi Dad's Kitchen. I'm Kyle Willoughby. I am a Kiwi Dad. This is my kitchen. And on this week's episode, we're taking your classic cheeseburger and mixing it up to make it healthy and keto. This is a cheeseburger casserole. Now, I've kind of changed the recipe a little bit because, well, this is me, that's what I do. But we're taking a cheeseburger casserole, adding in a few extra veggies for the extra nutrients and whatnot, and just making it really interesting and delicious. The kind of thing that your family will absolutely love, but it's so quick and easy. It comes together in about 15 minutes on your stovetop. It's really simple. Let's go. So ingredients-wise, now it looks like there's a lot of ingredients here. It's actually fairly easy to throw together. So we've got your bacon and your mince, which forms the meat component, obviously. I've also thrown in some mushrooms and green capsicums just for a bit of different flavor. I've got a little spice mixture here that I've made up. So this is just a half teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, salt and pepper, aromatics, gotta love it. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce, or worst world in the world sauce, as I heard a chef call it once. A little bit of mustard. We've got some cream cheese, beef stock, ordinary cheese, tomato paste, and of course our old friends Mr. Garlic and Mr. Onion, because, well, again, it's a my recipe and they wouldn't be anywhere without them. And olive oil, and let me just check. I'm fairly sure I remembered everything this week. I'm getting better at this game. So the really cool thing with this recipe is it's literally one pan and done. So let's get the food prep out of the way. Usual story, you'll be well familiar with this by now. So first things first, we're going to dice our garlic. Surprise, surprise, we're going to dice the onion as well. Okay, now with the mushrooms, we're going to want to dice these reasonably finely. So I'm just going to give them a bit of a slice up, kind of thusly. Now, the mushrooms and the capsicum are optional extras. I'm just throwing them in for a bit of extra flavor, a bit of extra goodness, and they kind of help to bulk the meal up a bit. So these are entirely up to you. You may have other things that you want to add in as well, fresh tomatoes or that sort of thing. One of the great things with these recipes, again, is you can adapt them as you see fit. So we're just going to hack through these mushrooms. And finally, just looking at the size of these capsicums, I'll probably just use the one capsicum for this, but we'll see how we go. So let's get that dissected as well. And that's the veggies all prepped, ready to go. You'll see with the capsicum, it's a reasonably coarse dice. It doesn't have to be overly sort of fine or dramatic or anything along those lines. The onion and garlic, we've gone with a reasonably fine dice. Mushroom is going to shrink down when it gets heated anyway. Now we've got one more step to run through. And that's just to quickly dice down the bacon, because this is going to be one of the first parts that gets cooked. So we want to have this, again, reasonably coarse. This is ultimately going to act as one of the toppings for our cheeseburger, or our bacon cheeseburger casserole. So we're just going to quickly whip through and get this all nice and chopped up. As always, not an exact science, but you get the general idea. So that's nice and cut down, ready to go. So I think we're about ready to head over to the stovetop and start getting some stuff cooking. Now that feeling that things are going too well and you just think, yep, I've got this, and then suddenly realise you don't. Forgot to mention we need to have pickles as well, because it's not a cheeseburger without pickles, as we know. So that's about a half cup of chopped pickles. So let's get into the cooking side of things. So first things first, into a cold fry pan. Now this is a trick that I picked up off of Stephen Cusato, who I've referenced previously. So always into a cold fry pan, you'll pop your diced bacon, get that on and heating. You're going to heat that so that it renders all the fat out. You get all those lovely juices in the bottom as well. And as that bacon starts to heat through, you'll see those bacon fats rendering out. So that again we get that lovely kind of flavour in the base of the fry pan that acts as a flavouring for all the other vegetables and so forth that are going in shortly as well. So that's starting to crisp up nicely, so we're just going to give that a couple more seconds. Then we're just going to pop that in the plate, because this is going to serve, as I said, as the kind of final topping for our bacon cheeseburger casserole as we go. So let's just get that bacon out, and that can just sit here. And we're just going to throw a little bit of olive oil in the base of this fry pan here. And we're going to go in with our pre-prepared veggies. So our capsicum, mushrooms, garlic and onion in the fry pan, and we're just going to sweat those down and get them cooking nicely. They cook a lot better when they actually make it in the fry pan though, and you get. So, beware of escapist mushrooms. I'm sure that's a thing I read somewhere. There you go. So we're going to cook those down for about 5 minutes or so. Let's find that escapist. There he is. So cook those down for about 5 minutes or so. You want the mushrooms to reduce down. You want that capsicum to get nice and charred. And you want the onions and the garlic to reduce down. We're just going to throw a little bit of salt in there as well, because that helps to encourage the liquid out of the mushrooms. Mushrooms are surprisingly quite full of moisture, so it just helps to get that moisture out, get them cooked down. So we'll just get this moving through. So that's starting to get to about where I want it. So you see the mushrooms have reduced down, the onions are starting to look nice and caramelized, the garlic's getting that lovely flavor into it as well. So we're just going to go in with our spice mixture and just throw that in and just briefly toast that up for a minute or two. And that just helps to get the flavors right through those veggies as well. And this is going to ultimately serve to help flavor that meat too. So we're just going to toast that up. And once that's had about a minute or so, you don't want too long with this in here, we're going to add our mince. Now, ordinarily, you would want to season the mince at the same time. There are a lot of seasonings in this mixture already. And of course, we've got the bacon going in there as well, so we don't want to over-season it. So we're going to check the seasoning at the end. So right now, we just want to get this mince broken up and cooked off. Now, the key point here is you want this mince well browned. So you want to get this really well cooked. We're also going to incorporate those veggies as well, so the mushrooms and the capsicum and everything is getting into that meat to be all nice and flavorful. And it won't take you too long to get that mince all nice and brown and toasty, just the way we like it. So we give this a little bit further, and then we come to the cheeseburger part of the process. So I'm just going to throw in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce flavor and just mix that through quickly. And that again just gives that delicious, rich, dark, yummy. I love the flavour of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, so that's looking lovely and cooked. So now we're going to bring in the cheeseburger component of our cheeseburger casserole. So first of all, we're going to throw in those pickles that we cut up, that I forgot about, but remembered at the last minute, so that's all good. And we want a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. And we want, to go back on the tomato paste container, you only need a little bit of mustard, so you're only looking for about a teaspoon of mustard. So that adds flavour but doesn't overpower the mixture. So just a wee dash of that. So I've just got the mild American mustard. That's usually one of the more complementary flavours for a recipe such as this. You need about a half, so this is a 250 gram container of cream cheese. I'm going to use about a half of this and just drop that straight in there as well. And then we are going to add in about 3/4 of a cup of that beef stock. And you just want to mix this around until it forms a nice thick cream sauce. So basically you're trying to melt that cream cheese and make a sauce with it. So that shouldn't take you terribly long. And as that cream cheese starts to melt and form the sauce, you just want to let that cook through so that it thickens. The crazy thing is I'm standing here at the moment, it smells just like a McDonald's cheeseburger, which is one of the really cool things about this recipe. You kind of get that naughty fast food vibe without actually doing anything terribly naughty. It's it's really quite cool, and that's one of the great things about this recipe. So we're just going to sprinkle our cooked bacon back on top of this. God, this smells good. This casserole concoction. Just kind of get that reasonably evenly spread. And then we've just got grated cheese that's going to go across the top. Because obviously you can't have a cheeseburger without cheese as well. So just kind of drop that in, or spill it all over the bench. Go with the mojo. I'd say just putting it in the fry pan personally, but you know, it's entirely up to you. And again, you want to get a reasonably even spread on this cheese. So cheese, like garlic and onions and so forth, you can never have too much. And then we're just going to cover that and let that cheese melt. So that'll take about 5 minutes or so. And I said there's no such thing as too much cheese. I did add a little bit of extra because this just looks so darn good. But there we go. So we've been going at this for about 15-20 minutes. It really does come together that quickly. And that's dinner for the family done. So you can serve this alongside a side salad during summer or with steamed veggies during the winter. And that is a quick, easy keto meal that's going to fit that fast food fix. Far too much alliteration in one sentence there. But it's still going to give you that healthy food option as well. And being this close to it, it really does smell just like the cheeseburger you get at your fast food takeaway. So I'm just going to go in, get a little bit of this. Come here to me. Look at that. This is just such a... That is so good. I have no words. It really does have that kind of... So with the pickles and the cream cheese, it's like the sauce you get on those fast food burgers. But as I say, it's a really healthy alternative. And with those additional veggies in there as well, you get that additional nutrition value. It's a great meal for when you're wanting that fast food fix. As always, recipe is downstairs. Go out there, give this one a try. It's absolutely fantastic. And there we have it. A really quick, simple, delicious dinner that can be made right there on your stovetop, all in one pan. It's so versatile, it's so easy. I absolutely love doing stuff like this because the family loves it and you can use it as a meal prep option as well. So go out there, get amongst it and give it a go. And ordinarily at this point I'd be saying thank you for watching, like, subscribe, comment, all the YouTube stuff. And I do stand by that. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get amongst my social medias as well, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I do absolutely appreciate the support and the channel has been growing really well. You might have noticed there's been a few different camera shots this time as well. I've been playing around with a little setup magic, doing some different things and some different bits and pieces. And I do need to thank my master behind the camera. I couldn't afford Steven Spielberg, so I got Stephen Willoughby. So my son's been doing the filming for me this afternoon, done an absolutely fantastic job. Bit of a hard director, but you know, you've got to work with what you've got. So it's a family affair, it's a Kiwi Dad's Kitchen, and I love being able to bring my family into this as well. So until next time, remember, some is a perfectly acceptable ingredient when you're cooking, and if you need indentured servants, kids are a handy thing to have around as well. That's it for Kiwi Dad's Kitchen. I'll see you next time.